We've got an insane patch to talk about today. Wow, did it ever come in hot here. I guess they kind of rushed it out in order to correct all the issues that had happened with the US agent launch with like the collector's reserves and the spotlight caches and everything. So anyways, let's dive right in. A bunch of store upgrades, which some of which I'm all for, honestly. Right off the top here, we do have the cosmetics section. This is expensive. This is like $30 per emote. We did want additional access to more emotes, and some of these emotes are great, but this is a heavy price to pay. I mean, we got what we wished for. We wanted more reason to have gold, spend gold, and etc. But damn, this is really expensive for emotes. The emotes are good though. Like they're meticulously well designed. But damn, that's an expensive price tag, right? So anyways, they're going to be rotating through a cosmetics section on the shop. This is the first set of cosmetics. Will we get card backs? Could we get avatars and stuff? Who knows, right? But this is one of the first implementations of this that we've seen. Also, they updated the bonus booster section. Now, this is pretty cool because the way it works is the boosters you just get for free. So if I want to upgrade this Onslaught, I just pay the cost of upgrading Onslaught to Infinite, and I pay the credits and the boosters are just added on automatically. It actually makes sense. Like before you had to pay extra for the boosters, and you get boosters just by playing. So now we actually have a bit more of like a opportunity to upgrade and split cards more effectively, and it's a random generation. Obviously, like this variant of Kang I don't really care about, so there is some variant nuance there, but ultimately an improvement over the prior system, which was an absolute gong show. I mean, statistics probably showed that only new players were wasting their resources there, and players were otherwise not utilizing this ability. What I will say is though, one of the features appears to not be working correctly. We did get the custom card effect where basically any variant can use any unlocked effect. So for instance here, I have a inked white tone here that I own. However, if I switch variants here to the baseline Iron Man, it looks as though I cannot access that split. Yeah, so I just get the foil. So that appears to be in the patch note, but not actually functioning as of yet. It is spoken as if we will be able to like select individual borders and the individual variants, right? So you only ever unlocked one combination of border effect, and you can apply it to any of your variants. In case you didn't believe me, now we're into the traditional patch notes section here, and here's what I was talking about here. When editing a custom card, you can now assign split combinations such as inked and black glimmer or whatever you've earned on one variant to any other variant. So we weren't able to do that just now, like I tried. But anyways, maybe they need to fix that as well, okay? So anyways, let's talk about the actual patches, the patch notes, the updates, the OTA changes, one might say, and we've got a couple absolute bangers that are really notable for this meta. The first is going to be Alioth. Now, Alioth being changed from a 6-2 that basically destroys unrevealed cards to a 6-8 that removes the text from unrevealed enemy cards played there. A significant change. Something like Dr. Doom gets destroyed here, but Magneto would be okay. And by destroyed, I mean literally he just is a 6-5. Pretty interesting change. This is a notable decrease in the power of Alioth. However, what it does is it makes turn 6 matter again. There were so many situations, and I actually called this change on the Snapchat with Cozy. I had said, I don't think Alioth's in its final form yet, and we didn't have these notes. The idea that they actually moved away from this, okay, let's not have Alioth destroy everything on turn 6, as opposed to like, let's have him have a heavy impact on turn 6, is probably a better approach. To think that he used to be a 6-5 that just deleted their cards regardless of their play is insane. As a 6-8, the stat line's like pretty fair, and the text effect is it's still strong, but it's not like amazing by any means. It'll destroy something like a Hitmonkey, for instance, if you have well, if you have to have initiative anyway. Is it way more niche? Yes. Is it way worse? Oh yes, it's way worse than it ever was before, right? So a meaningful nerf to Alioth here, and I know a lot of people hated Alioth. It's almost a 19% meta share. This is a pretty significant nerf. We're going to be expecting to see less Alioth moving forward. So a pretty dominant change there. Now, as we move to Zabu, this one actually caught me by surprise. Yes, Zabu 17% of the meta, but he seems like he's on the way down slightly. The win rate and cube rate are pretty fair as a series 4 card, but basically going from an ongoing where 4-cost cards are 1 less, an on reveal at the until the end of next turn, 4-cost cards cost 1 less. This is crazy. This basically lets you sneak out one 4-cost card on turn 3, and that's it. It's a huge nerf. This is a massive nerf. to the point, like, I don't think you ever play Zabu again. Like, really, I don't think Zabu's playable at this. And I think this is by design. They did mention that, like, they probably end up bringing Zabu back at some point, so I would expect this change to be reverted at some point. But it's worth noting that right now Zabu's been taken, like, has been basically put down. Like, this is a massive, massive, massive nerf to Zabu. Not only that, it's a massive nerf to 4-cost cards, because cards like Shang-Chi, which traditionally were being often played in combination with Zabu on turn 6, so you can play Shang-Chi plus another card, like a Cull Obsidian or something, it takes down Shang-Chi's viability as well. Shang-Chi's still a good card. However, now you can't sneak it out on turn 6 while also playing additional power with the 4-cost cards, right? So this is a huge meta-shifting change. Wild meta shifting change, because 4-cost cards feel like they had like a superpower with Zabu. The fact that you could cheat 2 of them out on turn 6 was insane, and now that's no longer really possible unless you play Zabu on turn 5, which is a little less elegant, we'll say the least. Regardless though, a massive nerf to Zabu, and you maybe love to see it. What I will say though is that we do have Red Guardian coming out next week, and Red Guardian was going to have a significant impact on Zabu, so I'm surprised to see the timing of this. I feel like Red Guardian would have been a very effective counter to Zabu in a way that like would probably solve the Zabu problem to some extent, provided that Red Guardian was strong enough to be at least meta relevant. But this is just a straight up like, no, Zabu's dead. We don't care about Red Guardian. Red Guardian will just do other stuff to other cards, I guess, right? So kind of interesting on the timing, because I do think Red Guardian was going to have an impact there, but Zabu absolutely dismantled. Now, this isn't really elegant change. This is an overall buff in my opinion. Sandman at a 2% meta share was only seeing play in a couple like discard ramp decks, which are basically like the Corvus Glaive discard decks with Hela being played out on turn 5, Sandman coming down and disrupting the play, etc. Like, a good card in those decks, but otherwise pretty rough. 48% win rate is probably where you want something like Sandman, and the effect is so strong and impactful that you really want to mitigate like how damaging this could be to the meta. So Second Dinner was very intelligent to say, okay, hold on, we don't want this card running rampant, right? We don't want them to like we don't want it to be the kind of card that everyone's playing, because it just makes the whole game feel terrible. So give it some extra power, go to a 5/7, which is like a still underrated stat line, right? Usually 5/8, 5/9 is approximately vanilla. And then what you want to do is, okay, we got Sandman at 5/7. The effect is next card only 1 turn. I think this is way better, because you can play Sandman on turn 5 without a massive tempo loss, and then you can play something like a Magneto, Doctor Doom, or whatever, and take advantage of that. You don't have to try to like rush Sandman out on turn 4 with like an Electro or with a Wave. It changes the way that this card is played completely, and I think that's a pretty good thing. So I do like this change a lot. It is notable that this is a very dangerous card to buff. I think Second Dinner's aware of that, and they're keeping a close eye on it, but still a notable change. And this also allows Second Dinner to play some cards that are like, more bounce based decks, and maybe experiment with more, turn 6 miracle cards like hit monkey, stuff like that, because now Sandman will be a viable counter option to those turn 6 miracle plays. Loki, a massive nerf to Surfer, who loves to explode on turn 6 as well, but I don't know how prominent Sandman will be ultimately. But still, technically a snappable surprise card on turn 5 for any deck that you know is going to want to burst on turn 6. Then we go to Lady Dethstrike. Really elegant change here. A Series 4 card getting buffed. You love to see it. Before, it just wasn't that good. And when you had the change to Forge go from a 1-drop to a 2-drop, it hurt Lady Dethstrike even worse. This card was one of those cards that was just awkward to play, although the power in theory could be powerful. This now moving to a destroy each card that has 3 or less power is pretty damn good. I actually like it quite a bit. And the reason for this is because I like the additional stats. I think the additional stats are helpful. Again, 5/7 looks like they're like, hey, we have a strong effect, but we want it to be understated. It looks like 5/7 is the, good payoff, but low power for a 5 cost, which is cool to see. But anyways, I like this because it also brings Bucky Barnes back. Bucky Barnes is the kind of card that would benefit from Lady Dethstrike. You can have LDS being played on top of Bucky Barnes, and not only do you destroy and counter anything that they might be doing, but you're also bringing back the Winter Soldier for that 6 additional power, which honestly just adds on top of Lady Dethstrike, making her effectively a 5/13. Well, not really. It's more like a 7/13 because you did have to play Bucky Barnes, but you get what I mean, right? You're able to play defensively as well with the Lady Dethstrike, destroying any cards that you want to get rid of in the process. What's interesting about this though is that once again Zabu would have been impacted by this. This does no longer impact something like a Dracula, because that'll be a 4 cost, and then the prior version was really good at erasing Dracula, so it looks like the Red Guardian once again is going to have to be out there for the Dracula gameplay. So I do like this change to Lady Dethstrike. I think it's really impactful. I think it gives Destroy like enough of it gives it something, which I think is really important. Oh, it's also worth noting that this technically works well with the buffed Sabretooth as well. Sabretooth is under 3 power. It's now been buffed to a 5. So now you can get a free Sabretooth to the hand on turn 6, while generating more power for null and maybe even proccing down your death, right? So I do think that Lady Dethstrike, Sabretooth, and Bucky Barnes, that 3 combination is way better than ever before. And so that's pretty cool to see for Destroy. At least maybe we'll get a situation where Destroy and Discard kind of have these like branching paths, which we have not seen in a very long time. I'm so excited about this. Strong Guy, yes. So Strong Guy, they're like, okay, we made a change to Strong Guy, and it was not nearly as good as we thought. And Strong Guy was a little sus to play with. Now, if you have 1 or fewer cards in your hand +6, okay. First of all, Strong Guy with Surfer might be good. I don't know. I can see it being a thing. But also, just like if you have APOC in your hand, that's 1 or fewer cards, and it gets +6. This is great. I actually really like this change, and I'm actually really excited to play some Strong Guy tonight, which is exactly what I'm going to do on stream. So if you're not following on Twitch TV, click the link in the description down below, because I'm going to be playing Strong Guy. I cannot wait for it. This is one of those cards that I actually have always loved, but it was always so awkward to play, especially with the change to Chavez. But now, maybe Strong Guy is back. This might actually be good. It might actually be good. So I can't wait to actually give it a shot. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you're not subscribed already, consider hitting that subscribe button, and we'll see you on that next Marvel Snap video.